Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I really want to talk about something that's kind of been on my mind for a little while. If you have been watching my channel for a while, or you're a subscriber, awesome, and thank you, and welcome back. But you know that I'm a huge fan of the Switch, and I really want to start this video off with the fact that you guys need to know that I'm a huge fan of the Nintendo Switch. I think it is like the most creative console to come out in maybe ever. It's awesome. The games are fantastic. Like I said, if you watch my channel, you know I do like an unboxing almost every other week of a new Switch Collector's Edition, and they're always something amazing. They always come with cool stuff. I love my Switch shelf. I love how all the games are just really fun, really good, and it kind of brings me back to like a time, and maybe this is just a Nintendo thing, but it reminds me of a time when, like, it wasn't just about the graphics or the weird gameplay loop hook. Everything's a battle royale nowadays. Everything's a games as a service nowadays. The games that tend to come out more on Switch feel like there's more indie titles. Obviously, the Nintendo IPs are amazing, and it's something I've always enjoyed. But it all kind of brings it right back around to like how the Switch just seems to be one of my personal favorite consoles. And because of that, what I'm about to say is a little bit different. Now, I don't want the title and the thumbnail to feel clickbaity, because it's not. It's like my actual opinion. This is real talk. This is real talk between you and me right now. Switch Pro, Switch Revision, Switch Nintendo, Super Nintendo Switch. This has been a rumor for like 3 years. I mean, and it's always like, oh, Bloomberg has come out with another article. The new Switch is on the horizon. It's going to be the newest thing. You're going to get it. It's going to be amazing. Everyone's looking forward to the Switch Plus Plus Ultra. And, I got burnt out of it. Like, last year was like the straw for me. I was like, okay, guess what? I don't care anymore. Like, I cared at first. I was kind of hyped up, kind of pumped up. And, what really kind of threw me to where I just, like, super didn't care anymore was when these cool Collector's Edition Switch came out. It kind of started with the Animal Crossing one, I'll say. But quickly, I really got into it when I saw the Monster Hunter one. Now, if you saw my channel, I did a full unboxing of the Monster Hunter one. Fun fact, I actually bought the Animal Crossing one, used it for a while, really liked it. The Monster Hunter one came out, ended up getting the Monster Hunter one. And I actually ended up selling my Animal Crossing one, not for a profit or anything. I literally sold it for like what I paid for it. Although there was like a bit of a bidding war, I didn't want someone to pay extra over MSRP. To me, that seemed really scummy. So the first guy who hit $300 got it for $300. That's regardless though. When I started seeing these cool collector's edition Switches, I was like all in. This is what I was really hyped for. I really like a cool console, a cool variant. They did do that Mario Collector's Edition Switch. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was quite ugly myself. But I'm not a big fan of, like, blue and red to me being primary colors. Like, they contrast too much. So, like, it's never been a thing for me. But that's, like, I don't even know why I'm going off into that. But regardless, everyone keeps talking about the Switch Pro. And, like, everyone's making videos. And they're getting thousands of views and clicks and clickety-clack. And, they all say the same thing. Like, oh, it's going to have 4K capability. And it's gonna be better, and it's gonna play games better, and that's it. So you watch 100 YouTubers videos, and they're all saying the same thing. Oh, it's gonna be 4K, and it's gonna play certain games better, and that's it. And like, yeah, that's cool. Like, okay, but I mean, I don't know. Like, why are we excited? It doesn't make sense, because like, okay, there's going to be a Switch revision at some point. The console generation gap is too large. The PS5 and the new Xbox Series systems they're just way too powerful, right? So obviously the Switch has to catch up in some way. So how do you do that? Put a better processor in it, give it 4K capability, whatever. But I mean, that's all there is. That's all they're talking about. And like I said, trust me, I love the Switch more than any other console that I have current gen. I mean, like, I'm still Super Nintendo all the way. But you don't need it. Like, here's what's going to happen. They're going to, at some point, announce a new Nintendo Switch revision. Maybe this week. They keep rumoring this week. This week, by the time you're watching this, is actually over, so who knows if that actually happened. It might happen during E3, so everyone can talk about their games. But what are you going to get, right? The new Nintendo Switch is going to come out, and it's gonna look the same. It's gonna be a black dock, a black, handheld with gray or red and blue Joy-Cons or whatever, and like, yeah, it'll run certain games a little better frame rate. But like, what games are you playing on your Switch that have pissed you off that they don't work right? I mean, I know there are some, but I mean, like, the big games, right? Breath of the Wild looks beautiful on Switch. Super Mario Odyssey looks beautiful on Switch. Have you played the new Monster Hunter? Like, I don't understand how Monster Hunter Rise can work on the Switch. Like, that is just so good. The graphics are great. I mean, once in a while you get like a weird stutter, at least I do, but like, it's like super rare. You know what I mean? And, that's the super intensive games are not what I'm playing on the Switch. It's not why I bought a Switch. That said, there will be advantages, right? Like, obviously, with a more powerful Switch, if they have some kind of huge scope for Breath of the Wild 2, it'll play better, it'll run better, awesome. They want to come out with some new games, awesome. But a lot of these games, it sounds like, are going to be third-party games. Now, if you are just a Switch owner, then yes, that's a big deal. But if you're a Switch owner now, like, are you going to buy a better, more expensive Switch for third-party games? Would it not make more sense to buy the PS5 or the Xbox Series X? Because those, no matter what you do to the Switch, it's not going to be more powerful in those two systems. And that's not like me throwing a rumor out there. That's just logic, right? The Switch goes in your hand. The PS5 is like this tall. The Xbox looks like a small fridge. You can't pack all that into a handheld. I'm sorry. So, if you're talking about third-party games anyway, and you'd have to buy a new console anyway, and I'm assuming you already have a Switch anyway, then what's the point? Now, if you don't own a Switch, yeah, go ahead and get one. It's going to be awesome. But just like all the other consoles that are coming out, these are going to get scalped big time. And in my mind, there's no point to go out and get one right away. There just isn't. And it's to the points that I've already said. You probably already have a Switch. See, with the PS5 and the Xbox Series systems, everyone was scalping them because nobody had any way to play those games, so you have to get it now. You gotta go get it. You gotta get it, right? But with the Switch, they will eventually probably do the new 3DS thing and have a few games that are Switch Pro exclusive, but the majority of games that are going to really benefit early on, I will say, will be games like third-party games, which would be better on a new console anyway. And me personally, especially after getting that Monster Hunter Switch, which is gorgeous, by the way, it makes more sense to wait for a cool, like, collector's edition one. Now, that being said, if they announce a Switch Pro, Switch Nintendo, Super Nintendo Switch Plus Ultra Super Cool, and it's a Zelda one to celebrate the 30th Zelda anniversary, then, 35th, whatever it is, the Zelda anniversary, I'm down. I will get that Switch. But if it's just a plain Jane Switch Pro, unless they also announce in tandem a first-party game that really, like, blows my mind, like, you need to get the Switch Pro because Breath of the Wild, like, has this whole other thing that's only doable in Switch Pro, then, like, that will be a reason to get it, in my mind. The other reason, like I said before, is if you don't have a Switch, I wouldn't get a Switch now. Like, well, I probably would. There's so many good games. But if you don't already have one, then that would be a good reason. Of course, you're going to have to dodge the minefield of scalpers. But just in general, the big question is, why do we care about a Switch Pro right now? I mean, there really isn't a reason. In fact, I'm slightly having buyer's remorse over my Xbox Series console. Not because I play it every day, right? So I don't really have, like, real buyer's remorse. But let's just say that this was, like, I was all in on the new generation. And this goes for PS5 as well, because, a lot of my friends have PS5. I just personally don't have one yet. I will get one eventually. But the thing is all the experiences you can experience on old hardware. For the PS5, the only true exclusive games right now are Demon's Souls, which is a remake, and Returnal, which is a game that doesn't interest me because I'm not into the, what do they call those? The where you loop a roguelike. Not a fan of roguelikes. So it's like, what, if you had a PS5 now, you've had it for 6-7 months, and there's 2 experiences that you could not get anywhere else. There might be a couple more games, but that's just a note to how much those don't matter because I can't even think of them. And, games that are exclusive for your console should be big. That said, next week Ratchet and Clank comes out. That could be a good reason. But the Xbox too, I mean, granted, all my old games play way better. They look way better. I'm glad I have one. But there's no new experience, right? There's no experience I can't get already on the Xbox One. And that's what's going to happen with the Switch. There's just, if you jump in right away, I almost think that it's pointless. And not because it's not cool to have one, but I mean, in my mind, if you're going to go ahead and get the super cool, brand new Switch Pro, unless there's really a big first-party selling point, let me reiterate, first-party, because third-party is always going to be better on the newer consoles, then there really isn't a reason to dive in day one, unless there's a cool collector's edition version of the Switch, which doesn't apply to many people either, but it does apply to me. But anyway, regardless, I've been rambling. That's my thoughts. It's just, I really wanted to kind of go into this because so many people are really hyping up the idea of the Switch Pro. And the more I thought about it, I was just like, but why? Why? And, and that's coming from someone who loves the Switch. Once again, I'd like to know your thoughts down below because this is a weird situation. I think everyone gets blinded by the word new. And, if you really stop and think about it, maybe you have the same mindset as me, but like I said, leave your comments down below. If you think I'm full of crap, let me know. If you have a reason that I'm not thinking of like why you'd need to jump into the Switch Pro right away, let me know that too, because I mean, everyone has opinions and everyone can change their mind, and I love the Switch, so please change my mind. But hey, that being said, let me know what you guys think. And that's going to do it for us today, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. I know usually I've been doing some weirder videos, and this kind of feels like my old school news videos I used to do. But, I just, so many articles keep popping up every day on my phone, and I just want to talk about this. But, if you guys like more free-form thought videos like this, let me know too. I mean, if this gets good views and people like it, then maybe I'll do more of these again. I haven't done the news videos in a while. I will be covering E3 stuff for sure. But, hey, as always, take it easy.